Hello, and thank you for joining us on the Thursday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Binga Oreshegun. Today on the program, as Nigeria marks 2025 Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day, federal government reaffirms the importance of honoring fallen soldiers, serving officers. Federal government finally signs and unveils renegotiated agreement with ASU. And later on the show, Rivers State traditional rulers intervene in Governor Fubara and Nyesom rift, set up peace panel. Well, I'll be hanging out with Olabisi Deji Folutile and Adekunle Yusuf. Journalist Hangout starts right now. Now let's begin the conversation. The Armed Forces Remembrance Day, now christened the Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day, affords us as a country opportunity to honor fallen heroes and serving officers of the Nigerian Armed Forces. At the 2025 celebration, the federal government reaffirmed the importance of honoring our fallen soldiers, wounded personnel, serving officers and their families, noting that the nation owes them continued appreciation and support. The Vice President Kashim Shettima represented President Bola Tinubu at the event in Abuja. Okay, let's begin the conversation. I mean, it's a sober reflection, you know, always when you think about the sacrifices paid by our military personnel. But can we say that the Nigerian Armed Forces, can we say that they're celebrated enough?
Well, we can't say that they are, but at the same time, we should also appreciate the fact that they are being celebrated. Because if you want to talk about celebration, it's a variable that has so many, it's a thing that has so many variables.
True.
So how do you want to determine what is the best way of celebrating? So maybe we should just stick to the annual celebration, which brings us to remembering their sacrifices, remembering the fallen heroes, looking at their families, remembering the ones that are even hurt during wars.
Wounded.
Yes, they are wounded. There are many people that are alive, but they are not even alive among them. So, but if we now want to talk further about celebrating them more, we can now advocate that celebrating them shouldn't be limited to once in a year celebration.
Okay.
That as a nation, we should also focus on remembering these sacrifices on continuous basis. We should also determine how they are treated, how their families are treated, and all of that. But one thing that I also love about this year's event is that celebration that is added to it. Like, it's not just for the remembrance purpose alone. We are including the ones that are alive.
The ones that are alive.
Now, which also is a sign of progress, so to say. So because before, you just go, you lay wreaths, but this time around, there is of course, they usually do a week program, but at least bringing in the people that are still alive and remembering their sacrifices. And for us as a nation to even talk about what they are doing, I think it will bring some sense of satisfaction because these are the people that are laying down their lives practically for the existence of Nigeria as a nation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, she talked about remembering those who are alive, the wounded. Is the federal government doing enough, in your opinion, you know, to make the armed forces, members of the armed forces, to make them feel appreciated? Do you think they're doing enough?
Is the federal government doing enough? I think the federal government is trying. I don't want to condemn. The federal government is trying.
Yes.
For the armed forces, but you can still do a lot more. And it's not only a federal government matter. this kind of day is celebrated in virtually every country, but the dates are not the same. If you go to the US, go to UK, go to Canada, they always celebrate, their armed forces. Now, the federal government, is it doing enough? The federal government is trying, but it can do far more. And this is in the terms of remuneration packages for those that are still serving.
Okay.
In terms of taking care of the wounded, because many of them end up becoming casualties. In terms of taking care of families of the dead.
The families of the dead.
Because
very key.
They must never die in vain. But that is just an aspect. If you go to a place like the United States, every American celebrates the armed forces. Everyone. It's not about it's the federal government. No. If you are a soldier or ex-serviceman or father of an ex-serviceman, mother of brother, or anybody related to one, anywhere you enter, you will see they will do label both and think, stick to their car. Father of an ex-serviceman.
Exactly.
That man, the father, will be honored everywhere because that is the highest level of service in terms of patriotism. So our populace, are we as Nigerians, are we celebrating them enough? I would say no. And many times when I reflect on this, I believe the bad era of military rule contributed to the bad, or the poor image, with which we...
But now that the federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to do more.
It's not just the federal government. I'm talking about entire citizens of Nigeria. If you are if you enter any university, you've ever entered in any shopping mall, if anywhere you see a soldier or ex-serviceman, everybody falls down. They will stand up and start clapping. If you are announced that this is an ex-serviceman, everybody will rise. You see, you will wonder what manner of country is this. We are not there yet. And I said maybe because of the bad era of military rule, the brutality, all of that.
Now, what do you think we should do to get there?
The federal government has come up with something, and it shouldn't be just a paper celebration. Yes. We should try to reorient it to the Nigerian society that in any nation, the highest form of service is to be in the military. Okay. Those who lay down their life to safeguard the sanctity of the nation. It's not easy. So now, we thank God we can never go back to military rule again. Many people who are growing up who never saw or witnessed military rule will now come to rebrand our military.
Rebranding the military. In doing this, you think maybe they should come up with maybe special insurance for them?
Well, I also know that in terms of what citizens can do, I know that there are airlines now that when they are boarding, they call military officers first.
Okay, first.
Yeah. I have witnessed that on some occasions. I think it's a way of honoring them. And I just feel that it's about just enhancing their welfare package, because at the end of the day, that is what really matters to them as individuals, and that is what their family members can also benefit from, and offering real long-lasting medical services to the wounded, not abandoning them, and not just leaving them to a year ritual of
I think it shouldn't just be military. It should be the cut to the police as well. When you go to police barracks sometimes, it's an eyesore. I think the welfare.
Do they do police remembrance?
And the armed forces, I believe it should also cover everything, because
they're not just because we seem to concentrate on the people that go to war. You understand? And except we also need to now start reorientating.
But the Nigerian police is in charge of internal security, so I think they should also
the services are not the same. Because even though this is not to de-emphasize
the importance
of the Nigerian police force, but the service, when you say civilians, the policemen are part of the civilian population. Or like the
I don't know. So many people want to argue with you on that.
No, it's purely military. The ones that face battles and then die.
All right, then it's a fine place for us to leave it. Let's move straight to our next conversation.